Hi, friends, and welcome back. Today, let's talk about toxic friendships. I was inspired by watching Michelle Obama on her book tour. She's traveling all around the nation and talking about her book titled The Light We Carry. And she was being interviewed by Oprah, and I think it may have even been her last tour date. I'm not sure, and it doesn't matter for this particular podcast. But on this episode, we'll call it. It's on Netflix. If you want to check it out, I think it was the last one. It's the one where she's being interviewed by Oprah, and she talked about her group of friends, which she referred to as her kitchen table. And I thought, what a unique concept. Building a circle of women that becomes your system of support, your encouragement, the women that you have fun with. All women need that. And then I thought, yeah, Tanya, that's often easier said than done. A lot of women nowadays show up with very little to offer you. They can be needy, not in the sense that they need something, because when you have a friend, that's what the bond is about. They're going to need things from you, you're going to need things from them. When I say needy, I mean needy in the sense that they need something all the time, just that kind of whiny, needy person. And when you show up for them, they're happy. But when you need them, they don't show up for you. They just don't reciprocate it. And I've had relationships with people like that. And when they're one sided like that, they can just be extremely draining. Some women are lacking in the ability to encourage and uplift. Whenever you decide that it's time for you to grow and you're going to embark on a project or challenge yourself in some way, they're the first ones to show up and tell you what you can't do. Some women are argumentative and controlling. I guarantee you don't need that kind of headache. Just trying to dictate what goes on in your life, not from a standpoint of wanting better for you, but just from the standpoint of being a busybody and just wanting to control and make you do and respond exactly the way that they would act and respond. Those aren't supportive friendships. And this is my pet peeve. Some women are gossips. I recently had a friendship come to a mutual, amicable close, and I had the thought, glad I never told you any of my personal business, because it would be all over the street. When people are bringing you gossip, guarantee they're also taking it to other people. And so you can't really have a true and honest and trustworthy friendship with people like that. Because like in this situation, because she was always coming to me and telling me other people's business, I never really shared my intimate thoughts or the things that were going on with me. I just kind of held my cards close to my chest, and I got to a point where I decided this is not really a real friendship here. This is a waste of time. And there were other things. That just kind of led me to come to the place that, you know what, this is no longer a mutually beneficial relationship. And when you're trying to build a great life, you just don't have the energy to lose on things that just really aren't serving your process. So you have to be careful with women that are always telling you someone's business. Oftentimes women will sit in the space and cry on your shoulder, and then as soon as they leave you, they just run and they just start telling everybody. Now, if you don't mind your business on the street, that's not a big deal. But if you're the kind of a person that feels like when you share something with someone, it needs to remain in the vault, then you have to really be careful, and you have to, in my opinion, reconsider friendships where you have to kind of navigate what you say to them, or if you have said too much, when you hang up the phone, you have a feeling of regret, like, maybe I shouldn't have told her that because she's going to run back and tell A, B, C, and D. You just don't need the extra stress and the extra drama. just get rid of them. I mean, I hate to say it. It sounds cold and it sounds callous, but remember, you're trying to build a life. If you can have a conversation with them and they'll be receptive to it and they'll grow, then that's definitely a friend that you want to hang on to. But it's been my experience that people like that are often few and far in between, because typically people that are open to the growth process, there's already a part of them that knows that you shouldn't run around town telling other people's business. I hope that makes sense. Like, usually a woman of character is a woman of character. And so when you tell her something, she's going to keep it. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have a great friend that you've had for a long time and they would not be willing to hear this particular negative thing about themselves, and that they wouldn't accept it and be willing to grow and move beyond it, because that's very much possible. But you have to decide in your particular situation what you're dealing with, who the person is, and is it something that they can grow beyond? And if they can, then hey, they deserve a spot at your kitchen table. You know, you want to think of that as like a sacred space. I thought how blessed Michelle Obama was to have friends who had walked so closely with her and that knew her struggles and hadn't gone public or sold the story to the tabloids. We all deserve friendships like that, and you got to be intentional about it. If you don't already have a kitchen table like that, you got to be intentional about who you are letting come in your home and sit at your table. So on your quest to build that kind of friendship base, you know, you want to definitely become the kind of friend that you want to attract. You want to be supportive and trustworthy and nurturing and kind. You want to always have that person's best interest at heart. As you send out those good vibes, they will be returned to you. Be patient though. They may not show up tomorrow. It may be something that you have to cultivate over time. And just be open and ask the universe. Just say, you know what, I'm going to set the intention that I'm looking for like-minded women that are of substance, that can come and sit with me and nurture me and help me grow, and I can do the same for them. I have a full episode on the concept of alignment on my podcast. You might want to check it out. I believe that life gets beautiful and yummy and satisfying when we build our relationships, our career, everything about our lives around this concept of alignment. And that means that you're not trying to spend energy with things that aren't really a fit for you. It will just, the friction is not worth it, and the extra energy that you expend on that you could be using someplace else. Now, it doesn't mean that everything should be perfect and 100% aligned, because sometimes there needs to be a little tension so that you can grow. But generally speaking, you want to actually come to terms with who you are, and you want to start choosing things based on who you are and letting everything else fall away. So there's that. You know, I just wanted to come and talk about that. I thought that was such a beautiful principle. As women, we all not only deserve it, but we need that. You need people who are down with you, who will push you when you need it, but who are always loving and who are always kind and who are only acting and speaking with your best interests at heart. And many of you listen to me right now know you have some people that are sitting at your kitchen table that don't deserve the spot. Sometimes you're just no longer a match, and that's okay. You are responsible for building a satisfying life. Don't let anyone hurt your climb. So if you have people that are sitting there that haven't earned the space, that just kind of got there by default, I'm going to nudge you a little bit, and I'm going to ask you to be a little more intentional about who you are allowing access to your inner world. And I'm going to suggest that you think about some replacements, if not an entire overhaul.